You got a tattoo? Then you gotta have a story behind it. We're Tat Stories, and we bring our viewers those stories. We let the kahuna out of our sight for 1 second, and he's off grabbing inktails out of town. Check out the kahuna from Treasure Island in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. Kahuna, you really gotta remember to take your microphones next time. Come on, dude. Our first story this week comes from a car accident cover up that kind of grew over time in a good way. Our second is a pretty cool take on faith and an Ohio intergenerational twist. And our third is a gal whose ink catches the good and bounces the bad.
Hey, Kahuna here. We're still at Caddy's on the beach in Treasure Island, and I've got Melissa here. Melissa's got a very interesting take on leopard that I think you're all going to appreciate. Melissa, tell us a little bit about the ink and how and why you got it.
Yeah, well, I first started off with this little shoulder part right here because I was in a car accident and I had a lot of scars there. And people were always asking me if I got attacked by a shark or if I got attacked by a dog, and I got tired of the questions. And so I found someone to cover it, and it was at someone's home, so it was kind of a shitty job. And later on, I found someone else to kind of add on to it, and I brought it kind of down around, and then I had like the Haitian flag in there because I grew up in Haiti. And then a couple years later, I ended up deciding to kind of have it travel on down because I have an ectopic pregnancy scar right here I wanted to cover, but I didn't know what to cover it with. So I don't know how I figured it out, but I just decided to bring the leopard on around like a tail and cover up that scar at the same time. And it's probably been one of the best tattoos that I've gotten so far. It's got a lot of compliments, and I really like it.
That is absolutely awesome. So it gives you an absolute ability to do a cover-up over scars, which is very cool. Sometimes we see cover-ups because of bad breakups. We see cover-ups because of divorces. This is a cover-up because of a scar, and that's very cool. Now, tell me a little bit about the artist. Who did it, or who started it, and where are they located?
Well, his name is Will Fisher, and he's located in Studio 54 in Wesley Chapel. And he's been working on this for me. He did all this. I spent 5.5 hours, and he's very gentle with me. And got this tail done right here. And he's also worked on this arm for me and brought it on down. I like to be symmetrical. And brought it on down and around, and it goes down. So both of my tats go down my sides and around.
That's
Will
it.
Fisher.
That's absolutely awesome. So, if you're in the Wesley Chapel area, you know who you got to go see. Melissa Baxter. Thank you so much for your time, Melissa. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, folks. Going out.
Kahuna here. I'm in Land O'Lakes, Florida. Now, if you can find that place, you let me know. I'm here with Mike, and Mike's got some pretty cool ink. I wanted to talk to him about it. Let's see what he's got to say about it. I noticed there's one on his arm, there's one on his wrist, he's got a cool one on his back. So let's start with the one on his arm and find out what it's all about. Mike, tell me what that one's all about.
This one's my newest one. I'm a really big fan of it just because I got it while I was home in Cleveland. I really like the artwork. As you can see, they really went into detail, and it just looks amazing. It goes along with the theme of my sleeve that I'm going to do, which is all basically religious.
So this one was actually done in Hawaii.
Or in Ohio.
Not Hawaii, Ohio. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So basically, folks, we got an awesome heart, and we got some barbed wire going on there. Why a heart and barbed wire?
This is the heart of Jesus, actually. So it goes along.
Those are
yeah.
thorns then.
Yeah.
Got it.
Crown of thorns and everything. Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, now tell me a little bit about the one down on your arm. What's that one all about?
This one, the Bible verse underneath it is Matthew 17:20, which is faith can move mountains. So I got the whole scenery to go around it. So
That's cool.
I thought it would be a good touch.
That's cool. Faith can move mountains. And, oh, by the way, he's got a picture of a mountain there. So my guess is that hand moves a whole lot of stuff. So that's a good thing. All right, now you got something on your back. It's actually a pretty cool piece. It's just a stark, basic piece. Tell me what that is.
So that's the outline of Ohio. Me, my dad, and my grandpa all got it together when I was up there 2 years ago, and it was cool because my grandpa's like 70, so we didn't really think he was gonna actually go with us, but he was like, if you want to, I'll get it. So it's a cool thing that we all three have together, which is really awesome.
Okay, folks, now we've had ink from people that have had, the same tattoo for folks that have passed away. This is the first time I've seen intergenerational ink based on a place. I think that's pretty darn cool. So, Mike, let me ask you, does anybody ever comment on your ink? What does your mom say?
My mom actually signed off on my first tattoo when I was 16, which is her name right here. She loves them. All of my family really likes them. I usually get comments at work all the time that people really like them. So it's good that I haven't gotten a bad one yet. So I hope to get nothing but good comments from now on.
Okay, good comments we like. So has your tattoo ever gotten you in trouble, or do people kind of look at you funny? Have you ever had that happen?
I don't have a face tat, so I'm not to that level yet, so I don't think anyone's going to look at me funny. But eventually I want to have a sleeve, so hopefully people look at me kind of like, whoa, who's this guy? But we'll get there someday.
All right, so Mike's looking to get a sleeve at some point. So what, if you had to figure out what your next tattoo is it going to be something on your arm and to create or start that sleeve, or what do you think?
Yeah, so these mountains are going to come around. It's going to go into a valley, and then the outside of here is going to have the words, "As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil." And then that's going to start this whole part right here. I'm going to get clouds going into like the face of Jesus right here, and then it's going to go up, and then it's just going to cover up the rest with clouds, and then we will be done with this side. Then I got a half sleeve, then I'm getting my leg, then I'm getting my back, then I'm getting the rest of my chest, just everything. I'm obsessed.
Okay, so now you know Mike can move mountains. He's going to have biblical ink on his sleeve, literally. And you know what? He's not stopping there.
Nope.
He's going to get it everywhere.
Everywhere.
We love to hear that. And we're going to come back and get some more stories from you.
Can't wait.
Kahuna from Land O'Lakes, Florida.
Our third tat story came about by wandering around St. Pete. This is not the place for grandmas anymore.
This is the Kahuna here. I'm in St. Pete. We're on Central Ave between 6th and 7th at the Merchant. They got some really cool stuff here, and we found some great ink we're going to find out about. Give me a second and come on the right up and show you all about it. We're here with Jennifer, and she's got some pretty cool ink. Like I said, we're having a ball here in St. Pete on Central Ave. Jennifer, I noticed you got a pretty cool piece on your arm there, and it's got an owl and a dream catcher. Why don't you tell our folks a little bit about that?
Sure. The inspiration behind my latest tattoo was the owl. My middle name is Athena. I chose that as my confirmation name. And Athena's animal is the owl, and Athena's she's the goddess of wisdom and war and fairness. And it's interesting because I chose it when I was in 8th grade, and I became someone who loves to learn about new things all the time. And so that's kind of the part of where the owl comes from, and I love the freedom of a bird. And they can spin their heads like the Exorcist. That's kind of cool too. And then the dream catcher part of it is really just an inspiration from the Native Americans about kind of catching your dreams. And so my idea behind my owl is she carries my dream catcher. She bounces off anything negative, and then she captures anything that's positive for my life. And then, of course, there's the seed of life integrated in the tattoo as well, which is like the foundation of all life on our planet.
Okay. Now, you told me that this was your most recent. How long ago did you get it?
I got this tattoo about 4 years ago. I traveled specifically back home to my hometown in Pennsylvania to have Joe Santos from Art Rage Studios in Scranton do this tattoo for me. I grew up, he was a lead singer of a band that I grew up loving. Part of the reason I chose Athena was I loved Motley Crue, like in 5th and 6th grade. Tommy Lee's sister, the drummer, her name was Athena. And I wanted something unique and interesting since my name was so boring. And so that's kind of where all that comes about from.
Oh, that's cool. Now tell us, have you got any more ink? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I have 4 pieces of ink right now. My first one is a little red rose I got on my tattoo on my 16th birthday to shock my mother, and it worked. And Jesus Christ Jennifer is usually what the neighborhood would hear in a very melodic tone by my mother when anything shocking would happen, so that was part 1. The second one I got was it's an inker, and it's on my hip, and I got that after I got out of boot camp in the military. me and a bunch of Navy friends, our first free weekend. We went, rented a place on Thanksgiving weekend, drank some Cisco, which was legal here in Florida, gets you very intoxicated. And we all ended up getting the same tattoo, an anchor on our hip. Don't know the name of the place, don't know the tattoo artist, didn't research anything. The third one I did research, it's a peacock feather on my back shoulder, and I had that one down out in Orlando.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, what's going to be your next piece?
It's a piece my daughter and I have talked about. My daughter's 23, and we've always loved traveling because we like to experience other cultures, art, culinary, everything when we go to other places and see how other people live, and just be able to soak that in. And so we love to travel, and so she's drawn up, she does nice little art, and she's drawn up a really beautiful globe, image of a globe, and there's like keys hanging from it, little luggage tags, and like a French saying about kind of like, you know, loving to travel. And so that's going to be our next piece when we decide who our next tattooer is and where we're going to put it.
That's absolutely cool. Now, so let me see. I'm going to recall this a little bit. Let's see. First, a little bit of an explicative for Mom on the first tattoo. That's kind of interesting.
Yes. Lovingly, though. Loving. It was a loving one, and it was based on a song called Red Rose by a band that I went to find out is actually native here to Tampa, and called, I think, Rock's Gang. And it was a song that this guy used to sing who tattooed me here, so it's kind of all interrelated.
Okay, and
Yeah.
we like the alcohol-induced tattoo. We hear a few of those. That's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Yes.
The fact that more than one person got it at the same time, that was good.
Yep.
So tell me one last thing. On that first tattoo, did it hurt?
No.
Cool.
I feel like if you can just focus yourself a little bit, steady your breathing a little bit, and I didn't even know what meditating was back then, but I feel like just kind of calm yourself, put yourself in that little easy place, and you just focus on. I focus on the sound and just zoning out to it.
Awesome. Well, Jennifer, we appreciate it very much, and the folks at Tat Stories do as well, and we look forward to seeing it on there soon, and thank you again.
Thank you guys very much.